everybody. Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room. I am your host, Mistress Carrie. Welcome to the War Room and welcome to episode 309 of Cocktails in the War Room, the show where we get together every Tuesday night at 8:30 here in the room of my house that we call the War Room, which is where all of the things that I brought back from my military trips overseas are displayed. It's my family's history in the military displayed, and it's where the bar is, which is why we started getting together here in the War Room more than 5 years ago. It's so weird to say that. On March 14th of 2020, we did 80 nights in a row riding out the worst of the pandemic. And then we turned Cocktails in the War Room into a weekly show. So every Tuesday night at 8:30 Eastern, we get together here in the War Room to talk about music, to talk about the world, to be a huge support group for each other. And and also to gawk at the pugs, which, girls, come over here and say hi to everyone. So right off the bat, I want to let you guys know Friday's wearing a sweater, and it is out of necessity. You can't have that. Hey, come over here. Come on, come over here. Come. Did I say Wednesday's wearing a sweater? I meant Friday is wearing a sweater because Friday had surgery last week. So I was not the only one that was under the weather last week. A week ago, Friday got fixed. She had to have some of her baby teeth taken out because they were being stubborn and didn't want to fall out on their own and were in the way of her adult teeth. And so for the last week, including right now, she's high as a kite on her pain meds, although today's the last day on the meds, right, baby? And so she's supposed to be in a cone. But what I've realized is that when she wears this sweater, it covers up her incision and she doesn't touch it. So rather than having that big clunky cone on her head that she absolutely hates, I just put the sweater on her and she's been good, right? Do you want to say hi to everyone? Yes, tell everybody you're doing okay. She's starting to roughhouse with Wednesday again. So there is definitely, hey, you're taking my headphones. Leave my headphones on my head. She's definitely starting to feel better for sure. And can you move over, Wednesday, so everybody can see your beautiful face? There she is. There she is. So for everybody that's new to the War Room, the pugs kind of run the joints depending on how crazy they get. It gets a little nutty in here. And, well, with Friday on drugs, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. What? Do you want me to pick you up too? Is that what you want? You're upset that the baby's getting all the attention and you would like some of the attention? Guys, can you believe she's going to be 7 next week? We had her second birthday party here in the War Room during COVID with like 11,000 people celebrating my dog's second birthday. And now she's going to be 7 next week, which is insane. Yes, Bish, Friday got fixed. She's not broken anymore. Jonathan says, feel better Friday. Let's see. Friday is smelling and seeing colors. Oh, trust me. She's definitely a little more playful than she has been. She's definitely on a soft food diet. So she's getting spoiled with like the super high test probiotic soft food. She's not allowed to chew any of her like hard chew toys for another week. But today and yesterday, she really like was starting to act like herself again. And you can like, she's not supposed to chew on anything, but like, how are you supposed to keep them from chewing on anything? So at least she's chewing on soft stuff because she definitely, at first they thought she just needed to have 2 baby teeth taken out. And then during the surgery, they called me and they were like, yeah, it's 5. None of her baby teeth are even loose. And the adult teeth are all coming in. And for regular dogs, that's not like that big of a deal. But because pugs cram the same amount of teeth into like no snout, there's no extra room for teeth. And so they're like, if you want to keep from having severe dental problems later with her adult teeth, or even to get like an abscess or whatever in her gums, because the baby teeth did not want to move, and the adult teeth were like trying to figure out where to go. They were like, you should probably take these baby teeth out. And so when I got there to pick her up in the afternoon, they brought out all the paperwork, the medications, all of the instructions. I should have brought it in here. They gave me this little plastic pink tooth, and it opens up, and inside are her baby teeth. And I was like, what are these? And they were like, those are her baby teeth. We thought you might want them. And I was like, oh, Tooth Fairy. So they gave me the Tooth Fairy teeth so that Friday could get a visit from the Tooth Fairy. So I have a little, now with every other pug I've ever had, including Wednesday, the baby teeth came out, and sometimes I was lucky enough to like find one on the floor or in like the crate or one of the 10,000 dog beds I have around my house. Hey, you're not supposed to be roughhousing. You're supposed to be on bed rest. Stop it. Oh, here we go. Oh boy. Trying to keep her from doing anything has been really hard. And Wednesday, when Friday was not feeling well, like the first couple days after the surgery, she was just laid out. Wednesday was so cute and was laying with her. But as Friday's getting better, Wednesday's like, oh, you want to go? Let's go. So they brought her out, and she's just like, I mean, she was on another planet. And I was joking with the vet, who, by the way, I found out was a Marine helicopter pilot. She's a total badass. She got out of the Marine Corps. She went to medical school, became a veterinarian, and that's who was operating on Friday. And I was like, maybe I'll get in the car and play some Grateful Dead for her. And she was just dying laughing. So she came through the surgery fine. Obviously, you can see that she's doing really well. She's been really cold. And I was like, why is she so cold? And then I realized her whole belly is shaved, and she has no fur on her underside. So that was part of the reason why I put the, hey, stop it. That's why I put the sweater on her in the beginning, just because she didn't feel good and she was so cold. But what I've noticed is that she doesn't go after her sutures at all when she has the sweater on. So I leave the sweater on her all day. Let's see. She was high. She was as high as Shu during a 420 meeting. I think she might have been higher than Mike Shu, to be perfectly honest. Kevin says, the heck with that bed rest. Yeah, exactly. Hey, you're not supposed to be playing like that. Come here. Come here. You're not supposed to be playing like that. You're high on drugs. You're recovering from surgery. You're supposed to just be chilling out. Friday, do you hear me? I know you hear me. Do you hear me? You're supposed to just be relaxing and snuggling. Can you just do that? Huh? Yeah, exactly. So can you just chill? Can you just snuggle with your sister? Can you do that? Please? Just imagine being lulled to sleep by that every night for the last 27 years. Not with just Friday, but with all of my pugs over the years. If it's quiet in a room and there's no pug snoring, it's hard for me to fall asleep. I don't need like a wave machine or like white noise or whatever. I just have pug snoring over and over again. Let's see. Yeah, she's much better now, Betty. Thank you. She's fine. She's like, Mom, I just wanted to play with my big sister a little, says Jonathan. Trust me, exactly. All right, so Bish wants to know if there's any news on Godsmack possibly breaking up. So what I can tell you is they're not breaking up. They're on tour in Europe right now. That Tony and Shannon, the guitarist and the drummer, for personal reasons, opted to not go to Europe. And so it's like Godsmack went to the supermarket and they were like, I'll take Dorothy's guitar player and Evanescence's drummer and we'll go to Europe. And so according to what Sully says, it was personal reasons why the band didn't, why those guys didn't go. And so they're doing the European tour without them. And what's going to happen after that? I don't know, but everything that the band has said over the last few years since releasing Lighting Up the Sky was that they were going to release Lighting Up the Sky. They were going to tour on that new album. And then they were going to start touring and doing like deep album cut tours, that they wanted to celebrate their 30th anniversary and that they wanted to be able to play without the pressure of having to write and record a record in a specific window of time so that they could get back out on the road. They were basically like, we want to be able to have the freedom to celebrate all the music we've already written and recorded and play some of the stuff that we don't have time to play live because we're always trying to cram new albums and new singles in there. So that's basically all that's been said publicly right now. But I don't think the band is going to break up. Is it possible that one of the members or two of the members might decide that they don't want to tour anymore? I think for a band like Godsmack that has been a touring road dog of a band since the mid to late 90s, I don't think a lot of people that don't tour understand how difficult it is to tour for that long of a period of time. I think, it's not the same, obviously, and I've said this 1,000 times before, but if you ask members of the military that deployed over and over and over again, it gets to the point where they're like, I'm missing so much of my real life. I'm missing my kids. I'm never in the house that I pay for. I never see my wife. My family is missing me. My parents are getting older. One of my parents is sick. And so they get to the point where they're like, I just don't know if I can travel as much as I have been doing for the last 30 years. So I don't know what's going to happen with the guys from Godsmack, but right now they're on a sold out European tour with POD and Drowning Pool, and we'll just have to figure it out. What's up, Rachel? Let's see. Hopefully they tour in the Northeast when they get back from Europe. Yeah, they haven't announced anything. The last date that they played at home was back in October at the Mohegan Sun Arena. And I really wanted to go, but that's when I was with Mr. C's uncle when we took him to the Wall in Washington, D.C. And so I wasn't able to go to that Godsmack show, and that was it. You guys need to see what's happening right now. Hold on. I need to move the pug cam. Look at them. They're both sitting there with toys, snuggled up on the couch. Wednesday's chugging a Truly. Friday's trying to take it away from her. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Friday, you're not supposed to be chewing on anything. You're supposed to let your mouth heal, Nugget. I know, Wednesday. Every time you get something you like, she takes it away from you. I know, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Are you guys nice and comfy over there? Okay, that's good. So that's what I know about what's going on with Godsmack right now. So Jessica says, I'm so glad Godsmack's not breaking up. As far as I know, they're not. That was not anything that I have heard. It's not a rumor that I'm trying to get the dog toy under the couch. Hold on. It's not a rumor that I've heard from anybody in the know. So as far as I know, no. Friday, will you stop knocking this off the couch, please? Who's got who trained? It's like I'm the one playing fetch. Sherry says, I made homemade Reese's Pieces ice cream from scratch. Sherry, why do you got to do us dirty like that? Did you bring enough to share with the class? Mike Dillon says, hey, tagged you in a story about her losing her pilot's license permanently. She's in your backyard. Check her out. Sadly interesting. Okay, I'll check. Did you tag me on Facebook? Is that where you tag the story? Yes, I need that now too. That ice cream. Ridiculous. What's up, Keith? They are both down for the count. Now I want ice cream, says Will. All right, so there's a couple of things I wanted to talk to you guys about that are a little bit on the serious side before we get caught up with the podcast and everything. The first thing that I wanted to tell you guys about is that this has been happening and I wasn't aware of it. I knew about Tim and Melissa's fire at Halloween. So for anybody that doesn't know, Melissa, who's OG War Room, they decorated their house for Halloween and their Halloween decorations outside caught their house on fire. And I knew that the construction was happening. I thought that everything was good and that they were just, besides the ass pain of having to rebuild the house, I thought everything with the insurance company and everything was good. So I got this email that says, I don't want to read all of it because I don't want to dime out everything. I hope this letter reaches you. And I'm sure you're wondering why I'm sending you this message. Tim, it's about Tim and Melissa. This past Halloween, they suffered a massive tragedy when their Halloween decorations in their front yard caught and set the rest of their house on fire. Luckily, due to the amazing response of the fire department and extremely brave neighbors, both them, their 2 dogs, and their 2 cats made it out. The fire has been a long process to deal with and clean up, and sorting through all of their belongings and trying to salvage any memory that they could. We've all been extremely hopeful to hear back from the insurance company about what they were going to cover and how long it was going to take for them to move back in. Unfortunately, they were just delivered some pretty terrible news. The insurance company's payout is only going to cover the cost of the building and not the cost of any of the electrical or plumbing work that is going to be roughly $50,000 on top of what the insurance company is giving them to rebuild their house. So this letter goes on and on and on. It's from a friend of theirs. And basically they were like, we wanted to let you know that we set up a GoFundMe because we thought that everybody in the war room would want to help. And I was like, yep, they're going to want to help. So if you go on GoFundMe, and you look up support Tim and Melissa after fire tragedy, you're going to find this GoFundMe that was set up to help them bridge the gap between what the insurance company is covering and what the insurance company is not covering so that they can get back into their house. And so I wanted you guys to know about this because I felt really bad that we're in here in the war room every week and that Melissa's always sending me crazy things and we're always joking around and she's always so wonderful and supportive when anyone else ever needs anything. And I felt like crap not knowing that they were struggling because just like I talked to Art Alexakis from Everclear about on the podcast a few weeks ago, when we were talking about getting his house back up and running after the LA wildfires, you assume that if someone was responsible and had insurance, that while they're going to deal with, the process of filing the claim and getting the money and the inspectors and the adjusters and all of that stuff, that eventually good people are going to get their house back. That's what you assume. I would assume that if there was a house fire, that the electrical and the plumbing would be included in the reconstruction, considering you can't live in the house without both of those things. I don't know what all the ins and outs are. All I know is that I was really surprised to find out that one of our OG War Room family members was struggling. And they're never going to ask for help themselves. They're probably, if they're watching here in the war room right now, mortified that I even got this email from their friend pointing out the fact that they were struggling. And I'm telling all of you guys about it now. But it's one of those things where the first person to step in and help any one of us, if we needed it, was going to be Melissa. And so I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of this because I would never want someone in the war room to be silently struggling over something so stressful and monumental when we have the ability to try and help the best we can. And I know things are really hard for everybody. And I know money is tight. And I know that there's so much uncertainty in the world right now. But I really want the war room to see what we can do together. So I wanted to wait until tonight to talk to you guys about it first. I'm going to post the link up on Facebook and on Twitter and try to get the word out to see if we can get people to help. But it has to start with us because she's one of us. And so I really wanted to make sure that you guys all knew that this was going on so that you could offer emotional support, so that you guys could just ask if there's anything you can do to help. If you have the means to be able to make any size donation that you can, that would be huge. Bish was like, why don't we auction off some concert tickets? I'm working on some auction things right now. But I just really wanted you guys to know that this was going on because I felt really bad and I had no idea. Will says I had no idea. Exactly. Louise says, Tim and Melissa, we love and support you. Any electricians or plumbers out there that might be able to help? Ask Mr. Cole. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You know, we're told all the time so many reasons why we should hate each other, and we're not reminded enough about the reasons why we should love each other. And we have been through so much in the last 5 years together right here in this room. And so if there's anything, I'm not going to try and spearhead relief efforts here. I don't want to be in any kind of position to try and, coordinate relief efforts. The money is being put through GoFundMe by people that are very close with Tim and Melissa, that care about them deeply. If there is plumber and electrician, they're in New Hampshire, so I don't know what the rules are about licenses and all of that. But if there is a way to try and connect, to try and help solve some of the financial burden of this surplus that the insurance company is not covering, the most important thing was I wanted you guys to know, because you guys are the resourceful ones. You guys are the problem solvers, and you guys are part of the family too. And so I thought if you guys also knew that this was going on, that there's got to be a way that we can fix this, or at least help take some of the stress and burden off of what has just got to be a living nightmare. And this is 6 months in. The fire was in October. It was started by Halloween decorations, and they are still trying to get to the point where they can get back into their house. So if there's anything that you guys can do, whether it's financial, whether it's volunteer time, if it's just lending an ear, you can go to GoFundMe and look up Support Tim and Melissa After Fire Tragedy. You'll see this picture. You'll know it's the right one. It was started by legitimate people that are really in their lives and really love them. They've reached out. I emailed this person back after getting their original message, and they said, thank you. I said, I'm going to make sure everybody in the war room knows what's going on. And they said, thank you so much. With all of the shit that's been going on with Tim and Melissa, I'm sure hearing a little bit of support from you and the war room will help brighten their souls for who knows how long to come. I'll attach the link for the GoFundMe. My goal is to surprise them with this. They have no idea that I reached out to you and asked this of you. And if you wouldn't mind too much to ask that when... let me know what your plan is so that I can keep an eye on Facebook and all of that stuff. I understand you're probably wicked busy, New Englanders. But I just want to let you know how much I appreciate what you're doing and helping us out in this crazy time. So the GoFundMe is Support Tim and Melissa After Fire Tragedy. You guys can search it. If somebody's on GoFundMe already and you want to put the link in the comments to make it a little bit easier for people to find it, that would be fantastic. But if you guys, want to start mobilizing the way that I've seen you guys do in the past and start putting a little bit of relief effort together for these guys, especially now that we're getting into the warmer weather. Bish saying that he does landscaping on the side in the nice weather. If yard work needs to be done, even if you don't have any money to donate, but you just want to reach out to them and let them know that you're thinking about them. When people are going through a hard time, it can be very isolating, and you don't want to be a downer. But trust me, I know what this is like, that you don't want to be remember that Saturday Night Live skit? Like you're going through something really hard. The people that love you want to be there for you, but you don't want to feel like a burden to them, which is ridiculous because when people love you, you're not a burden to them. But so I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of this. So thank you, Keith, for putting the link up there. So I wanted to make sure that you guys saw that. The other thing that I wanted to tell you guys about last week, if you have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, you already know this, but last week was a really rough week for me. I was really sick. I'm not sure if it was a stomach bug or food poisoning, but I was laid out for a couple days, could not hold down solid food, could barely stand up straight, had to call in sick to work. Like when you have to call in sick to work and you work from home, like when you work in your own studios where I could literally be in my studio in a sleeping bag and I still couldn't work, it was bad. But one of the other things that happened last week that I found out was that a really good friend of mine from the Boston Firefighters Burn Foundation passed away unexpectedly. All I can tell you is that it was medically related. A lot of people, when they see someone that's 42 years old, that's a first responder, they think, that it's suicide or some kind of maybe accidental overdose, unfortunately, because those things are so common. But this was actually a medical issue, and I don't think it was something that anyone expected. So the family's obviously devastated. But I wanted to tell you guys this quick story. A lot of you guys remember the Beacon Street fire in the Back Bay years ago. And you remember my friend Mikey Kennedy, who's right here in this picture. And I've told you guys the story about how I did work for years with the Boston Firefighters Burn Foundation, and that we were at a Burn Foundation function the night before that fire. And I've told the story about the pretzel that I was trying to get Mikey to eat. And he was like, no carbs. I want to be in the firefighter calendar. I want to have abs. I want them to give me a good month. And we spent the whole night hanging out. And then at the end of the night, Mikey walked me to my car and told me to text him when I got home to Guam, because he always made fun of me about living in the suburbs. And the next day he died in the fire. So the part of the story that I didn't talk about was that the other person that walked me to my car that night, the other person that was there from the Burn Foundation, the other person that was there with me and Mikey all night that I worked with for years with the Burn Foundation was firefighter Danny Donahoe, who was out of the same firehouse on Boylston Street, which is the one right on the corner of the turn of the Boston Marathon on the corner of Hereford. And he was fighting that fire that Mikey died in on Beacon Street in the Back Bay. And they were really close friends. And I know Mikey's loss was devastating for Danny. They worked together for a long time. They were really good friends. They worked with the Burn Foundation together. And so just finding out that Danny passed away last week was just devastating. So I was able to go to the wake last week and see the family. He comes from a very proud firefighter family. And I just wanted to make sure that everyone that loved him knows that he is remembered and missed and was so well loved, because he was such a wonderful guy. He was a father to a beautiful son. And I know that his loving family was a Navy veteran. And I know that his family misses him dearly. And it's just so shocking to lose someone so young and so unexpectedly. And, a lot of my friends on the fire department that I've met over the years, a lot of them through the Burn Foundation, I've reconnected with, just because these guys didn't want me to find out on Facebook or Twitter that Danny had passed away. So I started getting these late night texts like, hey, are you awake? Can I call you? And I've been on the phone with a lot of these guys and saw a lot of them at the calling hours. And we were talking about how we're not old enough to be experiencing this kind of loss from people that we love. And I know that so many of us over the last 5 years have experienced significant loss. And it just kind of puts things into perspective all over again. And so I know you guys have heard me tell the Mikey Kennedy story so many times, and I wanted to make sure that I connected the dots with you guys, because the other person that I was with the night before that fire was Danny Donahoe. And just the idea that he's no longer with us is something that, like, even a week later, I can't wrap my brain around fully yet. So the Boston Fire Department lost a hero in Danny Donahoe. He was a wonderful guy, really fun, like life of the party kind of guy, but really dedicated to his job, dedicated to service, a passionate firefighter that just really loved his city and loved what he did, loved his family, loved his brothers, on and off the job. And, you know, I saw him mostly in fun social occasions, and we had a lot of really good times together, and I'm really, really, really going to miss him. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew about those two kind of important, serious things, because the last week has been pretty brutal, with me being sick, with Friday being laid up, finding out that Danny had passed away. That's part of the reason why I didn't have the war room last week, is that I was sick. I just found out about Danny. It was just way, 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 way too much. Thank you, Keith, for putting that link up in the comments. Jessica was heart related, as far as I know. So I believe that because it was heart related and he's a firefighter in Massachusetts, that obviously the heart-lung law kicks in and his family will be taken care of. But Jessica, he did have a son. So yeah, it's just, I saw the union guys at the calling hours, and they were like, we're going to make sure that the family's taken care of. And, so that was great. So, hold on. I want to show you this. Yeah, that's what's happening right now. They went from absolute total psychopaths to we're napping in the pillows right now. Jessica wants to know how I'm feeling now. It took 4 days. A couple days I couldn't eat. I could barely hold down liquids at all. It was literally like broth and tea. It felt like glass shards were passing through my intestines and in my stomach, just like a cement mixer, but like sharp, awful pain. Then I started like trying to eat some soup and some like soft, solid food. By the fourth day, I was able to start eating again, but I was really weak because I hadn't eaten in days. I felt terrible. As I feel okay now. I'm eating normally again and I feel better, but that was nothing nice. Sorry, Friday. I didn't mean to scare you. You can go back to sleep. It's okay. Go ahead. Put your head down. I know you're in a drug-induced haze and I should be playing Jimi Hendrix for you right now, but you can just put your head down. It's okay. Shh. Close your eyes. It's okay. Oh, man. All right. So before we get into the podcast and the music news of the week, for anybody that is new to the War Room, that's wondering where you can hear me on the radio, you can hear me on 98 Rock, Charleston's best rock, every weekday from 10 to 3. You can go to my98rock.com. You can stream the station that way. If you're not in the Charleston area, you can download the 98 Rock app and listen from anywhere. Coming up in just a couple of weeks, our rescheduled Lizzie and Joe from Hailstorm Living Room Session show that got rescheduled because of snow in Charleston, South Carolina. That's happening on April 21st. So it got rescheduled after the snow. Lots going on with the Pike, and you can hear me every weekday afternoon from 3 to 7 on 100 FM The Pike. You can download the free Pike app or stream the station at pikefm.com. The summer kickoff party with Tesla happening at Indian Ranch on June 1st. Hairfest 2025 has already been announced, and Grunge Fest 2025 has already been announced. This is the first annual Grunge Fest. All of these shows are up on the concert calendar at mistresscarrie.com. But the Woo Sox kicked off their home season at Polar Park on Friday. And once again, I'm going to be broadcasting live from the Sherwood Diner for the Throwback Thursday games that they're having at home at Polar Park. So the first dates are April 10th, April 24th, and May 1st. I'll be broadcasting live from 3 to 6 at the diner inside Polar Park. So if you're going to go and see the Red Sox minor league team, the Woo Sox, come and say hi to me at the Sherwood Diner. And all of the details on those dates are up in the concert and event calendar as well. What happened to Friday? Heidi, she got fixed last week. She just got fixed and had to have some dental work. So she's doing fine, but she was laid up pretty good for almost a week. You can also hear me every weekday afternoon from 3 to 7 on 106.3 The Bone, which is in Portland, Maine. You can go to 1063thebone.com, stream the station off the website. You can also download the free Bone app. But you can hear me there every weekday afternoon. And most recently, I was added to Everything That Rocks, Laser 99.3 and 98.5 in Springfield, mornings with Mistress Carrie, 6 to 10 a.m. every weekday morning. Go to laser993.com. You can stream the station live from there. You can download the Laser app, and you can listen to the show from there. So since I saw you guys last here in the War Room, we had a fantastic grunge brunch with the Stone Temple Posers at City Winery Boston. You can expect another grunge brunch to get scheduled in the next couple of weeks, so we'll be announcing that. I also want to remind you guys about the Johnny Appleseed Festival happening in late September in my hometown of Leominster. I'm going to have a big booth set up downtown for that. So I know it's the fall and we're not even into spring yet, but it's on the calendar. Wanted to call your attention to it. If you are a lover of all things apples, the Johnny Appleseed Festival is for you. Recapping the last couple weeks podcast episodes, because we weren't here in the War Room last week. Billy Morrison, who has been playing rhythm guitar for Billy Idol for the last 15 years, released his solo album, The Morrison Project, that features everybody from Ozzy to Corey Taylor, Daryl McDaniels, Al Jorgensen from Ministry. And Billy and I talked a lot about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We talked about his friendship with Ozzy. We talked about Gods of Rock and Roll. We talked about the Ozzy documentary. We talked about the Back to the Beginning farewell show for Black Sabbath and Ozzy. And it was a lot of what I expected from Billy, which is he's kind of uncomfortable talking about his long-standing friendship with Ozzy because he protects his privacy and the sanctity of their friendship. You know, Billy Morrison was like, Ozzy and I are friends, but we're not friends because we're musicians. We're friends that happen to be musicians, but we're talking about like good restaurants in LA and how much we miss English candy when we get together, and not necessarily talking about music that we want to make together. So it's a really great interview. If you haven't heard it yet, episode 250 of the Mistress Carrie podcast came out a couple weeks ago. And then last week, episode 251 was Dario Lorina from Dark Chapel and Black Label Society, who's from Canton and Brockton. And let me tell you, when you hear him talk, it takes 5 seconds to realize that he's from Massachusetts. He's been a professional guitarist since he was 16 years old and got hired to play guitar for Jani Lane from Warrant via MySpace. Told me the whole story on the podcast. Told me the whole story about then playing guitar in Lizzie Borden and then becoming a rhythm guitar player for Black Label Society. And now he has got his new band, Dark Chapel, and their new album, The Spirit in the Glass, which is available everywhere. When I went out to Vegas last month, I got to meet Dario in person. He's really tall. I don't normally expect musicians to be really tall because most of them aren't, but he's been living in Vegas for a really long time. He just happened to show up at a club that I was at, and I was like, Dario. We talked a lot about where to get good Italian food in Vegas so that the next time you go to Sin City, if you're looking for great old school East Coast Italian food, Dario sniffed it all out for you. So he was really cool to get to know. He talked all about growing up listening to AAF and kind of getting exposed to hard rock and heavy metal music on the radio. And then obviously what it's like to play guitar in a band that's fronted by Zakk Wylde, who let's be honest, is a virtuoso when it comes to the instrument and the pressure of making sure that you're doing things right. I talked to Will Hunt about it years ago because he got hired to play drums for Tommy Lee's band when Tommy Lee was singing. And it was like, how do you play drums in a band that's fronted by Tommy Lee? Like, he's one of the greatest. And so it's the same kind of thing with Zakk Wylde. You know, you get hired to be a guitar player in a band that Zakk Wylde's in. That's a little bit of pressure. Let's see. Apple pie done in a smoker is divine, says Travis. Oh, Travis, that sounds delicious. Bish says, I like pie. Carrie, if you're still doing the photos with the people in cocktails in the war room shirts and stuff, I tagged you in a post on IG. Yes, I do got to I have to refresh my Show Me Your MC photo gallery. So Joshua, thank you for tagging me in that picture. Jessica wants to know if the Ozzy and Black Sabbath show is going to be streamed on any social media. So that Back to the Beginning show, July 5th in Birmingham, they're doing it all for charity. I cannot imagine that they are not going to have some kind of purchasable live stream ticket to make more money for the charity. I can't imagine that they wouldn't, but they haven't announced it yet. Keith says, who is from Brockton? Dario Lorena from Dark Chapel and Black Label Society. I think he was born in Brockton and grew up in Canton, or was born in Canton and grew up in Brockton. But we talked about it in the episode. Super cool guy. Really fascinating story was that teenage kid that was just obsessed with playing guitar and got so good at it. And then Jani Lane posted on MySpace that he was looking for a guitar player, and Dario just firebombed him with his demos. They had some phone conversations. He sent him some more recordings, and then he went and jammed with Jani Lane and ended up on tour as a 16-year-old guitar player. It's a crazy story. So that's episode 251 of the Mistress Carrie podcast. This week's episode, because new episodes come out every Wednesday, episode 252 welcomes back Lee Caccati from Pop Evil. This is a pretty serious conversation, talking about their new album, What Remains, talking about the changes in the band lineup, welcoming the guys from Devour the Day, actually, to be permanent members of Pop Evil, talking about funneling serious emotion and mental health struggles into their new album, What Remains, that came out 2 weeks ago. So this is for a fourth appearance on the podcast, me and Lee Caccati talked about some pretty serious stuff on this episode. And in case you were not aware, a bonus episode dropped to the podcast yesterday morning featuring Tobias Forge from Ghost, talking about being invited to play Back to the Beginning, the Ozzy and Black Sabbath concert in England in July, talking about the inspiration of Papa the Fifth, Perpetua, who is the new vocalist, that's him right there, in Ghost, talking about the tour, Skeletor, the new album, and how Mike Shue and I were at a Red Sox game and the organist played Square Hammer from Ghost at Fenway. Amazing. So we talk all about that. That's a bonus episode of the Mistress Carrie podcast that is available wherever you get your podcasts. So the new albums come out the new episodes come out on Wednesdays. Bonus episodes drop whenever I have them, but every Monday through Friday, if you subscribe to the podcast, you also get the sit rep, and that's 5, 6, 7 minutes long, giving you all of the rock news, music headlines, everything you need to know to kind of get caught up with what's going on in the world of entertainment, and then allowing you to get back with your day. The sit rep is also in a shortened version on the air at Laser 99.3 and 98.5 in Springfield, and it is also on the air at 106.3 The Bone in Portland, Maine as well. So let me catch up with the comments. Terry says, welcome back, ma'am. Hope you're feeling better. I am. Thank you so much. Let's see. Stephanie says, hello, Carrie. Hello, Stephanie. What's up, Jerry? How are you? Dave Coulier is cancer-free from Full House. I saw that 5 months after being diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. which is what, oh my God, hold on, I'm having a total brain fart. The guitarist from Def Leppard, not Phil Collen, the other one. I'll think of his name in a second. He's been battling Hodgkin's lymphoma since 2013 and has been really vocal about it. Just had a bone marrow transplant earlier this year. So, to hear that Dave Coulier is cancer-free is pretty amazing. So you can subscribe to the Mistress Carrie podcast anywhere. Whatever podcast app is your favorite, you can just go there, search the Mistress Carrie podcast. You'll find that artwork. You'll know you're in the right spot. You can also listen to all of the episodes embedded on all the radio stations' websites. You can listen to the audio episodes on YouTube, and you can also just go to mistresscarrie.com and just find the episode you want to listen to and click play. I made it super easy for you. And every week I cross my fingers hoping that we're going to get to 150 countries, and it's still 149 countries listening to the Mistress Carrie podcast. Vivian Campbell. Thank you, Mr. Feldman. Yes, Vivian Campbell has been battling Hodgkin's lymphoma since 2013. And other than having to take a little bit of a break because he's got to recover from the bone marrow transplant, he seems to be fighting the good fight. So there you go. All right, if you're celebrating your birthday today on April Fool's Day, happy April Fool's Day. I learned long ago in my radio career, April Fool's jokes are no bueno. Jeff Porcaro from Steely Dan, born on this date, as was Method Man. And a couple of anniversaries today. It was on this date 50 years ago that Journey released their self-titled debut album. So Journey turns 50 today. So cheers to the birthdays. Happy anniversary to Journey. Happy unbirthday, Keith. Jessica said Neil Peart's brother passed away from the same cancer that took Neil. Yeah, glioblastoma, which is a really, really nasty brain cancer. You do not want glioblastoma. And the family announced that he had passed away from that. The other thing that is an anniversary today, it was on this date 42 years ago that while sitting on the toilet, Kirk Hammett from Metallica got the call from Metallica's management that they wanted him to audition for Metallica. Of course, Kirk Hammett was the guitar player of Exodus. He thought it was an April Fool's joke and hung up on them. And let's not forget, this was 42 years ago. He was on the toilet on a corded phone 42 years ago. Yeah, exactly, Brett Feldman. Opie and Anthony's April Fool's joke got me my job. I do not take part in April Fool's jokes. Not going to happen. All right, let's talk about some music headlines. There's a lot going on. A ton of shows just got announced. We've been talking a lot about the Back to the Beginning concert, obviously. Tom Morello is the musical director. He said this week that there are massive, huge celebrities that are going to be making surprise appearances at the show. Tom Morello calling this show he said it will be called the greatest day in heavy metal history. That's pretty huge. Jelly Roll is typo. Roll should be capitalized. Cheers on the social. Jelly Roll is making his acting debut on CBS on the fire drama Fire Country coming up on April 11th. So I wanted to make sure you guys knew about that. These shows got announced today. Lamb of God at the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, Mass on July 18th with Hatebreed and Shadows Fall. These tickets go on sale on Friday. Creed also announced 5 extra dates of the Summer of 99 tour for later this year with Daughtry and Mammoth WVH. That includes not Providence. Did I say Providence? I meant Springfield. The Mass Mutual Center in Springfield on July 18th. Creed is going to be in Providence at the AMP on August 27th and at the SNHU Arena in Manchester on August 28th. These tickets also go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. So lots of shows getting announced, lots of shows going on sale. I told you that this concert season was going to be nuts, and it's exceeding even my expectations. The Garden has got the Deftones coming up. Ghost is going to be there. Don't forget the bonus episode of the podcast, July 21st. Linkin Park. There's some weirdness going on with Linkin Park. They've got 2 shows at the Garden, July 31st and August 1st. They don't usually release a second show until they're close to selling out the first show. But the show they had scheduled in LA, they just downsized from Dodger Stadium to the arena. And that's 56,000 tickets to 18,000 tickets. The other thing is, Linkin Park just released a new song last week called Up From the Bottom, which is going to be on a deluxe reissue of From Zero that's coming out on May 16th. They've also announced Up From the Bottom tickets that are $39.50 that are going to be limited availability. And the deadline to sign up to try and get those tickets is tomorrow night at midnight. So I don't know if there's certain cities where Linkin Park is struggling. They also canceled some shows in South America as well because of poor ticket sales. So I don't know what's going on with the Linkin Park stuff right now. It's very strange. The Garden, obviously, Shinedown, Bush, Morgan Wade, Nine Inch Nails, Eric Clapton, all headed to the Garden. Let's see. DCU Center, this sold out about 5 seconds flat. I told you it was going to. There's a new Sleep Token song coming on Friday as well called Caramel that they have been teasing via a meteorologist in Raleigh, North Carolina. The guys from Sleep Token, I'm telling you, it's a thing. Also, Silver Scream Con 4 is happening the weekend of September 12th through the 14th at the DCU Center. Let's see. Jessica says Linkin Park isn't the same without Chester. I get it, but I also have so much empathy for them because the band wants to play and they're doing it the only way they can, unfortunately. Let's see. All right, hold on. So Big Night Live has got Everclear, Local H, and Sponge coming up on October 21st. That shows up on the concert calendar at mistresscarrie.com. The Xfinity Center constantly adding more shows. Simple Minds, Rod Stewart and Cheap Trick, The Offspring with Jimmy Eat World and Newfound Glory, Volbeat, Hailstorm, and The Ghost Inside. Those tickets went on sale a couple weeks ago. Doobie Brothers, Billy Idol and Joan Jett, Papa Roach, Rise Against, and Under Oath. One show that I've been dying to talk to you guys about, hold on, I'll tell you in a second. So Heart, back out on the road. By the way, Nancy Wilson said they are casting the biopic about Heart that she talked to me about 2 years ago on the podcast, that they're finally getting around to casting the biopic about the Wilson sisters. And they still haven't announced who's directing it or when it's coming out, but the project is moving forward. AC/DC and the Pretty Reckless are in tour rehearsal. I believe the tour kicks off on April 10th, I think in Minneapolis. Of course, May 4th at Gillette Stadium. Alice Cooper at Mohegan on May 23rd. Post Malone and Jelly Roll at Gillette on May 31st. Clutch at the Lynn Auditorium. Sleep Theory at the Sinclair on June 19th. Sleep Theory is also going to be at the State Theater in Portland on the 22nd. Baby Metal at Mohegan. Weird Al at the Wang and at Foxwoods. Brandon Boyd said recently that he's hoping the new Incubus album is out in October, so you can look forward to new Incubus coming. Def Leppard at Mohegan on July 3rd. That's what I was talking earlier about Vivian Campbell. I don't know if he's going to be back on tour with the band by then because he had that bone marrow transplant and he's taking some time off the road to recover from that. So I don't know if he is going to be on the road with Def Leppard then or not, but they're going to be at Mohegan July 3rd. Coldplay at Gillette for a couple of dates. Yes, I know I said Wang. Will you stop? Yacht Rock. Watch the documentary if you haven't watched it already. It's great. Toto, Christopher Cross, Men at Work, July 26th at the Leader Bank Pavilion. Goo Goo Dolls, Chicago's going to be there as well. My Chem and the Lumineers at Fenway. I'm surprised that there aren't more rock shows coming to Fenway so far this year, but I guess it's still possible for them to make some announcements. But last year there were a lot more rock shows. So Memphis Mayfire, whose new album Shapeshifter came out last Friday, is going to be at the Palladium May 10th, and Mushroom Head's going to be there on October 12th. Roadrunner has got Poison the Well, also Ministry, Jet, and Dinosaur Jr., and a show that did not make it on here yet, Garbage, is going to be at Roadrunner, I believe, on September 21st, and those tickets go on sale this Friday as well. So Garbage is going to be at Roadrunner in September, their first headlining tour in like 7 years. MGM Music Hall at Fenway, Spirit Box, also Devo, Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine, Queens of the Stone Age, the Pixies, Alabama Shakes, and the show that did not make it on here is Chevelle, Asking Alexandria, and Dead Poets Society in August, but it is up on the events and concert calendar at mistresscarrie.com. So be on the lookout for that. Those tickets went on sale last Friday. Poppy's in town this week at the House of Blues. The Used is going to be in town next week at the House of Blues. Machine Head at the end of the month. Marilyn Manson, May 10th. Less Than Jake. Architects just announced they're going to be at the House of Blues on August 16th. Those tickets go on sale this Friday. Bruce Dickinson, who's not only going to be doing his solo tour in support of the album, The Mandrake Project, but Z2 Comics just announced that the first year of the Mandrake Project graphic novel comes out in August. The whole time Bruce Dickinson worked on the Mandrake Project, he said that it was a graphic novel in the works. It was always part of the plan. And Z2 Comics has come out and said that that is coming out this year. Jerry says, holy cow, so many concerts this year. Jerry, that's not even scratching the surface. Go to the concert calendar on the website. It's literally insane because it's all the shows in New England. So all the way from Bangor through Hartford, all the way out to Springfield and beyond. Like, it's insane how many shows are happening right now. It's hard to keep up because every time I turn around, shows are getting announced. It's just nuts. Not complaining, though. Trust me. Paradise Rock Club Quicksand. Oh, that already happened. Typo. Hold on. Let me take a drink. The Linda Lindas, Melvins, and Napalm Death. This just got announced. Billy Corgan going out to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness and the 25th anniversary of the Machina albums. And he's not going out with the Smashing Pumpkins. He's going out with his solo band, Billy Corgan and the Machines of God. And he's playing the Paradise. The show's June 9th. The tickets go on sale this Friday. Billy Corgan at the Paradise? What? I know. It's nuts. City Winery, I got more dates, including a grunge brunch coming up that I'm going to tell you guys about. We've been talking a lot about the stage at Suffolk Downs, and I wanted to point this out. A couple weeks ago, we were in the War Room, and somebody was like, the Dropkicks are playing at Suffolk Downs. And I was like, wait, it's not just the Dropkicks. No, it's Session, which is how you pronounce that Gaelic word. And it's basically about a jam session. It is a 2-day Irish festival happening at Suffolk Downs, on the stage at Suffolk Downs. The Dropkicks are headlining the Saturday. The Pogues are headlining the Sunday. Both days, all the details, the link to get tickets, it's all up on the concert calendar at mistresscarrie.com. Why nobody has done this before, I don't know. But a 2-day Irish music festival at Suffolk Downs, headlined by the Dropkick Murphys and the Pogues. Like, it's the most obvious thing ever. And it got announced right after St. Patrick's Day. Brilliant. So there you go. I got all the details, the links, the lineups, everything you need to know on the concert calendar. New releases coming out on Friday. Elton John and Brandi Carlile, Who Believes in Angels. LA Guns has got a new album coming out called Leopard Skin. Meshuggah, Immutable, the Indelible Edition comes out. And speaking of the Waterboys, Life, Death, and Dennis Hopper coming out on Friday. And don't forget, Record Store Day is next Saturday, April 12th. The list of all of the participating record stores and all of them. So one thing that I got in the mail that I wanted to show you guys. So when I was in Afghanistan in 2011, the medic that was in my platoon, his name was Mo. He immigrated to the U.S. from Morocco when he was a teenager. And he's amazing. It was really funny because he spoke Arabic and nobody told anybody that he spoke Arabic, so that he always listened to what the interpreters were saying because the interpreters didn't know that the medic spoke Arabic. And so he made sure that the interpreters were interpreting correctly because they had no idea that the American medic with the platoon that I was with spoke Arabic. Mo has become one of my best friends since the deployment. He did all the tough rucks with me. We trained together. We've gone to DC on trips together. He's got a beautiful family, and he just finished fasting for Ramadan. And he knows how much I love Middle Eastern food. It was never something I was raised with. It's something that I have grown to love as I've gotten older. I was exposed to it, obviously, in Iraq and Afghanistan, but he knows how much I love it. And so he knows that my favorite is pistachio baklava. You guys know how much I love pistachios. It just in general, I love them. But pistachio baklava is like heaven. And so to celebrate the end of Ramadan and his fasting end so that he could start eating again, he sent me a text message today and was like, hey, a package just arrived at your door. Let me know what you think. And so I looked outside and there was a package with custom stickers and all of that. He must have gotten some kind of delivery notification that it had arrived at my house. And so he sent me this, and I wanted to show this to you guys. It's imported from Turkey, like legit sealed in plastic, like custom stickers all over it. But he knows how much I love baklava. So hold on, I want to show you guys the lid. I didn't want to tip it upside down because I don't want to destroy what's inside. But this is what the lid looks like. And I just want to show you what he sent me. Guys. Look at that. Like, when I tell you, it's like the greatest thing ever. So I got this in the mail today. I was super excited to share it with you guys because, sorry, a piece of pistachio fell out of the box. I couldn't let it fall on the floor. I just wanted you guys to know that you guys aren't the only ones that send me food. I am that person that likes to eat. My husband jokes about it all the time, that I am the happiest in the world when I am eating. It's what you do when you're happy. It's what I do when I'm sad. It's how I show you that I love you, is that I cook for you. I don't understand people that don't live passionately through food. That just doesn't make sense to me. So, yeah, see, it says Istanbul on the side. But he sent this from Turkey because he wanted me to have the real stuff. And I've already eaten 2 pieces today because they're so good. I wanted to show you guys what I got in mail call today. So many concerts, not enough money in the account, says Jerry. I get it. Totally agree. Michael Cole says there's 2 pieces missing. Oh, they're not missing. I know exactly where they are. Get in my belly. They were delicious. I'm going to have to it came with instructions, and I think it says that I can freeze them now that I've opened them because it came all vacuum sealed and stuff. So I think I might have to freeze them to ration out, just like the biscottis you guys send me. I need to ration them out because otherwise I'm going off the reservation and I'm just going to end up in a pistachio baklava coma. Share it with the class, Bish. Good luck. I'm getting a knife if you try to take those away from me. They're so good. I don't know how you order them. I don't know how long it takes to get baklava from Turkey. I have no idea, but I will tell you, and I'm a firm believer in supporting family-owned businesses and immigrant-owned businesses. People come here like my family did, seeking the American dream. There is an amazing Iraqi restaurant in downtown Clinton called Zaytoons. I didn't even know they were there, but after my motorcycle accident, I have some friends that live in Clinton. And when I was laid up waiting for all of the surgery to heal and all of that, some of my best friends in the world would stop and get me a Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee, and they would bring me food from Zaytoons because the first time they brought it, they were like, do you want to try it? And I was like, yeah, sure. I love Middle Eastern food, having had it in Iraq and Afghanistan. I loved it. And so they brought it, and then every time they came to visit me like once a week just to keep my spirits up, because I was out of work for months because of all the surgeries. Zaytoons is family owned. It's a family that immigrated from Iraq. They're right in downtown Clinton, and they make unbelievable pistachio baklava. I mean, all of the food is amazing, and they do an unbelievable buffet. I think on Sundays it's like $16 and it's all you can eat, and it's insane. But they have like 10 different kinds of baklava that you can just go and buy and bring to a party or whatever. But the pistachio baklava, my friend Mo and I talk about it because he knows where all the good Middle Eastern restaurants are all over the state. And we've been talking about going to this buffet together. And he was like, I want you to tell me if this stuff I sent you from Turkey is as good as the stuff from Zaytoons. And they're neck and neck. It's really legit stuff. So if you guys like Middle Eastern food, like this is not like some kind of a paid plug or like whatever. I just love supporting family-owned businesses the way that people supported my family's bakery for generations that when I was growing up. But if you like Middle Eastern food, Zaytoons is delicious. Brenda says, oh, my sugar, yummalicious. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Let's see. Bish says, ma'am, we will fight for a piece of that baklava. I might cut your face. It's face cutting good. That's how good it is. So I was super excited to show that to you guys because you guys are always so hilarious finding these new snacks and sending me just amazing food. And I just want you guys to know that you know me so well because the people that have known me for years and years and years, they do the same thing. They send me food, which is why I have to eat salad for lunch every day because of all the amazing stuff that you guys are constantly sending me. So, Mardet, Istanbul for the hookup. I'm telling you. Let me see if there's, yeah, well, it's 1864. So they've been in business for a hot minute. I can't see if there's like a website, and I don't want to tip the tin upside down and then be showered in delicious baklava. But I want to thank Mo. I'm going to be in a sugar coma for like the next week. It's freaking delicious. Jessica, it is delicious. Good night, Betty. Carrie will cut a bitch. Absolutely. All right. Want to let you guys know that we are talking about merch for this year. I talked to the Backstage Pass holders about it on Sunday night, working on some new designs for tank tops for the warm weather. The drumsticks are coming. There's definitely stuff coming for the online store at mistresscarrie.com. And the Backstage Pass holders, we got together on Sunday night for our monthly live stream where they get caught up with everything that's going on, the behind the scenes stuff, who's coming up on the podcast. They can submit podcast interview questions, get travel blog updates when I'm out on the road, early access to event info and tickets, and concert ticket giveaways. Right now, Backstage Pass holders have access to Spirit Box tickets, to Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine tickets, and also Ghost tickets. So if you have a Backstage Pass, you know how to get hooked up with the tickets. If you don't have a Backstage Pass, go to patreon.com/Mistress Carrie or hit the Patreon button at mistresscarrie.com. You also get merch discount codes too when we have sales and we launch new merch items and stuff. So if you don't have a Backstage Pass yet, you can easily get one on Patreon. Just a reminder of all the places that you can find me on social and all the radio station apps and times that you can hear me on the air. So The Pike, The Bone, 98 Rock, Laser. The list is growing all the time. Hopefully, I'm going to have some good news in the next couple of months about some additions to the lineup. So we'll see what happens with that. And one final reminder about the Mistress Carrie Veterans Rock Group on Facebook, up over 2,700 members and counting. It's a place for you to share information about veterans organizations, initiatives, veterans events, veterans-owned businesses. If you are looking to hire veterans, if you have a veteran in your life, or you're just somebody that wants to get involved in supporting our veteran community, or if you're a veteran yourself and you're looking for information, networking, community, whatever it is, you can go to the Veterans Rock Group on Facebook, and there's always people posting about events and charity initiatives and people that are looking to hire people, veteran businesses that are just looking to get the word out for anybody that just wants to support veteran-owned businesses. So if you haven't gone on Facebook yet, go on Facebook, search Mistress Carrie Veterans Rock. It's a public group. It's free, obviously. And it's just a great place to share information and stuff. So one more time, I'm going to show you what I'm looking at. Yeah. That's what happens. Friday needed to nap. Wednesday obliged. Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up. Are you snuggling with your big sister? Yeah, you're so good. Good girl. Good girl. Jessica says, that sounds delicious. I have insulin if you need it, says Brenda, talking about the baklava. Any news on Papa Roach other than the album they're hoping is out by the end of the year and that they're going to be at the Xfinity Center on the Rise of the Roach tour? That's all I got for you. Pug love, says Marcy. That Vets Rock Group has been spammed with sex bots lately. Bish, it happens all the time. Just usually I'm really quick to get them out of there and get them banned. But sometimes they gang up with each other and just bomb that group. And here's the thing. The bots only go after groups that are super active. So it's a double-edged sword. You have to take it as a compliment that the bots are spamming your page, because that means your page is active, that people are commenting, that people are posting, because it shows up in the algorithm and the bots go after the pages that are super active. So on one hand, I hate the bots. And on the other hand, it tells me that the group was a great idea, that you guys are active in it and that it's doing its job. So I know it sucks, but I try to get them out of there as quick as I can. So that group is just for Veterans Initiative stuff. It's not for local bands to get their music out there. It is not for Russian dominatrixes. It's just for Veterans Initiative. So there you go. All right, guys, that's it. So don't forget, the bonus episode of the podcast came out yesterday featuring Tobias Forge from Ghost, and the brand new episode with Lee Kakati from Pop Evil goes live at midnight tonight. So there you go. One more pug shot. Can't handle it. It's the cuteness. It's just the cuteness. All right. I will see you guys next week. Good night, everybody. Say good night, girls. She opened her eyes. That's about as much as we're getting.